The first day of school should have been ordinary, but for the new teacher, it turned into a nightmare. As she stepped onto the playground, a group of students, rude, arrogant, and fueled by ignorance, cornered her. Before anyone could react, they shoved her into a puddle of mud, laughing as if it were a joke. The humiliation burned, but something in her eyes told a different story. This wasn't a woman who would stay down. Most of the school watched in shocked silence. Rumors had already spread about the new teacher, whispers about her mysterious past and the skills she carried quietly beneath her calm exterior. No one expected the quiet, composed woman covered in mud to be anything but vulnerable. Yet there was a spark, a subtle confidence that hinted she wasn't just any ordinary teacher. As the bullies laughed and walked away, thinking the day was theirs, she stood, dripping and composed, a calm but determined expression settling on her face. Little did they know, the lesson they had just started was only the beginning, and what she was about to reveal would change the playground forever. Her next move would shock everyone, leaving the school stunned and the bullies wondering if they had underestimated her entirely. No one knew much about Ms. Rivera when she arrived at the school. She had transferred from a district miles away, and the staff whispered about her unusual calmness, her precise way of moving, and the quiet intensity in her gaze. Some said she had been a champion in something no one knew what. The students were instantly curious. Rumors always traveled fast in a small school, and the more the bullies tried to provoke her, the more intrigued everyone became. Ms. Rivera didn't fight back that first day. She simply cleaned herself off, straightened her jacket, and smiled politely at the onlookers. But behind that composed exterior, she was calculating, observing, and remembering every face, every taunt. The mud had stained more than her clothes. It had stirred something deep inside, a resolve that would soon be impossible to ignore. By the end of the day, whispers spread through classrooms and hallways. Some students claimed to see her performing strange exercises in the empty gym, movements that were precise, fluid, almost otherworldly. The bullies, meanwhile, laughed off the rumors, confident that she was just a new teacher who would soon learn her place. They didn't realize they had just started a chain of events that would test their arrogance and their understanding of what strength really looked like. The next morning, the tension on campus was almost tangible. The bullies strutted through the hallways, smirking, daring anyone to challenge them, certain that their stunt the day before had gone unpunished. Yet, in the back of their minds, a seed of unease had been planted. Some of the quieter students whispered about seeing Ms. Rivera practicing moves in the gym late into the evening, her movements sharp, controlled, and precise, something far beyond ordinary self-defense. In class, Ms. Rivera maintained her calm, engaging students with lessons while subtly keeping an eye on the troublemakers. She didn't single them out publicly, but every glance, every step, seemed deliberate, as if she were mapping the situation carefully. Meanwhile, her past began surfacing in small ways. A photo of her holding a championship medal tucked into her drawer, a student noticing a black belt peeking from beneath her jacket during a bend to pick up a dropped book. The whispers grew louder. The bullies, fueled by pride and arrogance, started plotting bigger pranks, unaware that their actions were being watched with quiet patience. Other students began to sense the tension, some rooting for the teacher, others dreading the fallout. Every hallway, every corner, became a stage for the impending confrontation. Something was about to break the balance, and no one, especially the bullies, knew just how formidable Ms. Rivera truly was. By the end of the week, the school was buzzing with a mixture of excitement and fear. The bullies had escalated, their prank shares tipped over, books scattered, whispered insults echoing through the halls. But Ms. Rivera met each incident with calm, unshakable composure. She never lost her cool, never raised her voice, but there was a tension in the air that made even the bravest students pause. One afternoon, the bullies cornered her again, this time near the sports field. They laughed, confident they had the upper hand, tossing insults and mocking her silently. But something in her expression shifted. For the first time, they noticed the subtle hint of movement in her stance, a slight tightening of her posture, the kind that suggested she was ready, not just to defend herself, but to teach a lesson they would never forget. Meanwhile, other students watched from a distance, sensing that the moment of reckoning was near. Rumors of her black belt and secret past had spread through whispers, creating a mix of awe and anxiety. Even the teachers felt the tension, unsure whether to intervene or let the situation unfold. Every step the bullies took toward her seemed to pull the entire school into a suspenseful stillness, as if time itself had paused, waiting for the inevitable showdown that could change everything. Just as the tension reached its peak, and the bullies thought they had cornered her, a sudden interruption changed everything. The principal appeared, striding onto the field. But instead of stopping the confrontation, she froze, her eyes widening in disbelief. Behind her, a group of older students had gathered, drawn by the rumors of Ms. Rivera's mysterious past. Whispers spread like wildfire. Someone mentioned a championship. Another hinted at a secret dojo, raising the stakes higher than anyone had anticipated. The bullies, already unnerved by Ms. Rivera's calm intensity, now felt the pressure multiply. They glanced around nervously, realizing they were no longer in control. Ms. Rivera, still standing tall in the mud-splattered field, didn't move aggressively. Instead, she shifted her stance subtly, her eyes locking on each of the bullies with a quiet precision that sent chills down their spines. Then came the second twist. One of the bullies suddenly slipped, almost as if fate itself had intervened, and a backpack tumbled open, spilling a stack of papers that revealed a hidden secret evidence of previous mischief they had tried to hide, escalating their trouble far beyond what they expected. The playground was frozen, the air thick with suspense. Every student and teacher felt it. The moment had arrived when Ms. Rivera's hidden strength and the bully's arrogance would collide, and no one could predict the outcome. The tension exploded in an instant. As the bullies lunged forward, thinking they could intimidate her one last time, Ms. Rivera moved with a speed and precision that left everyone stunned. In a few fluid motions, she disarmed their aggression, using skillful maneuvers to block their advances and guide them safely away from chaos. It wasn't about hurting them, it was about control, discipline, and making them understand the consequences of their actions. The crowd of students held their breath, watching as the mud-streaked teacher became a force of calm power that no one had dared imagine. The bullies, shocked and humbled, found themselves on the ground, not from force, but from the sudden realization of their own recklessness. Ms. Rivera crouched to their level, her voice steady but firm, teaching them a lesson far beyond detention or punishment. She reminded them that respect isn't earned through fear, and that true strength comes from discipline and courage. Just when it seemed the story had settled, an unexpected twist hit. The spilled papers from the backpack revealed a hidden message from a former student, praising Miss Rivera's black belt and hinting at a mysterious past far more intense than anyone knew. The school gasped, realizing that this teacher's story on her strength was only the beginning of something much larger, leaving everyone wondering what she might face next. After the shocking display, the playground slowly returned to a hushed calm. The bullies sat quietly, faces flushed with embarrassment, realizing they had underestimated Ms. Rivera in every possible way. She didn't scold or humiliate them further. Instead, she gave a small, firm nod, signaling that the lesson had been learned. The school watched in awe as respect replaced fear, and whispers of her skill and courage spread quickly through the hallways. In the following days, the atmosphere at school changed completely. The bullies, once arrogant and reckless, started showing signs of reflection, some even apologizing quietly to their classmates. Other students, inspired by Ms. Rivera's strength and composure, became more confident, realizing that true courage comes from standing up for yourself and others without cruelty. Teachers noted the change too, impressed by the way she had handled a difficult situation without losing her calm. The mysterious black belt and her secret past remained a topic of fascination, but it no longer intimidated anyone. It became a symbol of empowerment and resilience. Ms. Rivera continued teaching with the same patience and dedication, proving that strength isn't just physical, it's the ability to face challenges with dignity and wisdom. By the end, the school had learned a powerful lesson. Courage, respect, and quiet confidence can change even the most hostile environment.